Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so tell me about the war against narco-terrorism. This has been a war that has gone on for 40 years in Colombia. By all accounts, you have been quite successful. Some would say very successful in the last few years. What do you think was the key to the success?
Our aim is to liberate Colombia from this long nightmare. Therefore, we fight with all our determination to overcome this problem. For the new generation of Colombia to enjoy peace in our country, the peace my generation has been unable to enjoy. The more we advance in defeating narco-terrorism in Colombia, the better for our neighbors, because the less the possibilities for them to suffer this tragedy. Therefore, I am hopeful that at the end, instead of criticism, we will receive support.
But you also hit these narco-terrorists very hard militarily.
Of course, with all the determination, without any doubt.
And in doing that, you got a lot of help from the United States.
The United States has helped Colombia. The United States has been a loyal partner in this fight.
But you know that in Latin America there are lots of people who criticize you. They say you've become an American base, there are American troops all over your country. How have you withstood this criticism? Has there been a sense that you are an American puppet?
No. I am a fighter for the well-being of my fellow country citizens. I am a member of one generation who have not lived one single day of peace. We have suffered the same that many generations in Colombia. Therefore, our duty is to defeat this nightmare and to build a new country for the generation in the future to live in Colombia in peace, to live in Colombia happily.
Mr. President, you dealt very well and had a very good relationship with President Bush. You now have a new president, President Obama. There are some who say you were more comfortable with George Bush. He was very tough. He was a very strong supporter of yours, very strong supporter of the war against narco-trafficking, very strong supporter of Colombia. Have you found a difference with President Obama?
President Bush was a great friend of Colombia, a great friend of my government. I will always keep gratitude for him. And President Obama has given Colombia all the support. My conversation, my talks with President Obama have been very constructive. Now we have close negotiation with the United States and with the Obama administration for our both countries to having the new agreement on security.
But there are people in the Democratic Party who have said that you and your government have ties with right-wing death squads, this so-called. What do you say to them?
Gossips. This is the first government in Colombia that have dismantled what is called, in your words, in your question, the right-wing paramilitaries. When we arrived in the presidency in August of the year 2002, Colombia had no less than 60,000 members of the different terrorist groups. So far we have dismantled the paramilitaries and we have weakened guerrillas. We have not won this fight yet, but we are winning.
But you have 10,000 people who require security protection in your country.
It is better to provide them with individual protection than to allow the criminals to kill them. But there will be a moment in which Colombia, if we continue with this determination, Colombia will no longer need this individual protection.
What is it like personally? You have had how many attempts on your life?
Let me don't.
But something like 10, there have been 10 or 15 attempts in various ways to assassinate you?
I don't think in the number of attempts. I think in the miracles of my God to save my life and in the need to leave for the new generations a different country. for them to live without this danger, without this risk.
Do you worry that after you leave the presidency, while you may be given some security, it will not be as elaborate as what you have as president? Do you worry that there will be people who will try to go after you?
I have not thought in that. But what we need is to provide all Colombians with security. This is the reason of our force.
You know, there are a lot of people who look at this drug war and they say it's been going on for 30 or 40 years. The United States has spent $50, $80 billion. There's no real decline in drug consumption in the United States. Drugs are freely available. The whole thing is a failure. What do you say to them?
The numbers I have seen recently from the government of the United States indicate the opposite. We have shown numbers which indicate that the purity has decreased and the price in the streets of the main cities of the United States has gone up.
So you believe that the war on drugs is working?
With perseverance, without hesitation.
How long will it have to go on?
The more the determination, the shorter the time. The same for Colombia.
President Uribe, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.